Hello,
Hello.
gaming fans. We're here with another Ganon Hunt race. I am Calvin, joined by Medium. Did I say that right, by the way?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Uh, so, yeah, what's going on?
We've got sawneyrath representing Cursed Seed Investigators Hyrule, and Spy representing Majora's Masked Marauders. This is the last game of Saturday night. There are some games yet to be determined on a Sunday, but for now, we'll kick this thing right off, and both of our runners heading straight for Uncle.
Yeah, I'd like to treat this as a, a casual boot seed. This is a pretty standard opening. If you'd like to treat it like that.
It's convenient. There always seems to be, it feels like, something of value over in the Uncle front of escape area, like, say, that bow that both of the runners have found. Now, big keys are shuffled in this mode, so you don't have the Eastern Palace big key. The bow by itself not really gonna point you immediately to Eastern Palace, but it's something to be thinking about at least.
But, unlike casual or open mode with boot start, you got a sword here, and we see Spy going in the front of escape. Could pay off, really. See what's in here.
Yeah, it's 3 relatively easy checks to get out of the way. Now, Sawney is going for the opposite strategy. You just get the couple of checks at Uncle really quick. You go ahead, you head for the village. You've got 3 bombs. Uncle handed you 3 bombs, so you can get all of the checks in the village relatively easily. It's just a question of which one happens to work out this time.
Let's see, our bush crab is throwing out 10 bundle of arrows. Never going to have to worry about that this game whatsoever.
It's certainly not a bad early prize when you've already got the bow. The bow does a lot more damage than the fighter sword does. Spy, however, playing into the castle with this sword, has found the Cane of Samaria.
And by the way, don't know if we all caught that, but Lumberjack is dead. There's only 10 arrows on that thing, and we find the hook shot at the mushroom spot.
That's another one of those nice early items to have out of the way.
I do think, though, that, Spy's definitely going to pick that up. I wouldn't see why not. However, it could be some time before... man, I can't say this guy's name. Sawneyrath is going to go into escape and get that Cane of Samaria.
That is a bit of a dangerous spot for it, but by the same token, we could be in a position where we don't need it. For those of you who may not be familiar with the mode, this is a 2 out of 3 Triforce hunt with fast Ganon, and you have to have 2 pieces of Triforce to be able to kill Ganon. Now, those pieces of Triforce, one of them's in GT Basement. You have to have 5 crystals to get into GT. One of them is on the pedestal, so you would have to get all 3 pendants. The other one is in the left chest of Pyramid Fairy, and that is your 5-6 crystals. So theoretically, depending on what Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are, and if that GT piece is not Samaria locked in the basement, the possibility exists that Sawney just doesn't need that red cane.
And we got the pod big key and Dark Cross.
Yeah, it's a bit out of logic, but I bet Spy doesn't mind.
Logic is just suggestions around here.
This, I feel, is a mode that rewards at least hewing a little closer to logic. Now, most runners are just going to sequence break dark rooms anyway, but if you get deep enough into the seed and you still don't have that lamp, you start thinking, well, I was supposed to have a fire rod or a lamp to get this big key. How much do I really want to chase it? Also,
So-
Sonny seems to be pulling more goodies out of the village while we're talking about Spy and his sequence break. Moon Pearl, second sword in the in Blind Hideout.
Yeah, pretty stacked. I also heard that this mode, you know, we're pretty lucky to get a second or even a third sword in this mode. I've heard throughout the community that has happened quite a bit, where they're literally looking for a master sword for Go mode.
There have been a few sword. Oh, the sword was in the Thieves Drop. Wow. Yeah, good job paying attention to us, I guess. The glove was on Sick Kid. I saw that one for sure.
So also, to be fair, I'm still kind of like, I'll tell a little bit of backstory. I completely forgot I was calming, and I was trying to learn a speed race of The Legend of Dragoon, and I'm still like, oh my god, what? Oh, I'm supposed to be commentating. Oh, better cut stream, hop in here. Here I am.
Yeah, and there I was busily telling our restreamer that, well, if he doesn't show up, you could always ping Hammer, that Spy's good buddy who runs the multi-world tournament with him. I'm sure he would show up to commentate if he's not busy. He's probably out there in chat right now saying, why didn't you just invite me to do this 5 hours ago when you signed up? Because I forgot, Hammer, that's why.
But you know what? We do find the ice rod on the maze game here.
Okay, so Sphere 1 location, Ice Rod, probably second sphere for that red cane, depending on where that small key winds up being. Well, we did get the glove, so yeah, that's just going to be a second sphere red cane, that's fine. And now Sonny's down here working on South Shore.
So, looks like for a Dark World access, we're going to need either the hammer or a second glove. Which one would you prefer to show up here?
Hammer Glove Dark World access is a lot more convenient. Now, the unfortunate third option that was not stated is we could find a lamp.
Oh, find a lamp for Aga?
Mm-hmm, because we've got a glove and a hook shot, we can go all the way around the Dark World.
See, I was not trying to bring that part up, chat. Don't want these guys to suffer, do we?
This mode is such silly high variance nonsense anyway. I don't know that it's even suffering. It's still probably over in an hour and 15 minutes. And that was a big key to Turtle Rock that Sonny pulled out of Agina's closet.
I'm pretty sure Sonny's here is going to go finish up his South Shore checks.
It's entirely reasonable. You hit Mini Moldorm Cave, a nice 5-item density cave. You hope that a little money comes out of it maybe, so that you can do some big flipper water walk shenanigans with these boots and go as far as checking Zora.
And let's see here. What do we got out of Mini Moldorm Cave? We got some arrows. More arrows. An ether medallion. Some cash. There's your Zora money.
Yeah, there's that Zora money. It's funny how that happens. Starting to wonder when that fire rod's going to make its appearance, because now with that ether medallion, it's another one of those potential pieces of that Turtle Rock puzzle.
How about right here in Ice Rod?
That's a classic rando location for a fire rod. I like it.
And ta-da! No, it was red, but
Yeah, wrong red thing. That happens. The game gets a little confused every once in a while.
we got some more checks here over here on Spy's side, I believe.
Yeah, and Sonny not going to miss that Cane of Samaria as long as we feared that he might, because this sure looks like a front of escape play to me. Spy counting items very efficiently. Knows that those other 2 checks are just the map and the small key and says, nope, I'm going to open 1 box and 1 box only.
Very heads up play. Oh, as we see, Lake Hylia Island is just $20 more.
Interesting that Spy wants to make this Zaha Eastern play before South Shore. From the perspective of knowing what's going on with the seed, it's certainly going to help us.
Yeah, big key of Hera right there.
I'll admit I was waiting for that to say Eastern Palace, but it didn't.
Ice Palace is our green pendant today.
Spy thought about leaving. I think I still would have liked the leaving play here, but okay, if you're going to dive Eastern Palace, you're going to dive Eastern Palace.
I mean, we know it. There has to be something here or on Zora potentially. So this should pay off, right? More than likely.
Yeah, there's also the possibility that we're going to just find a lamp in here and then you're going up the mountain. But I'm a little surprised that the mountain sequence break play hasn't happened. Just a little, not a lot.
You know, maybe these runners are, you know, adhering to staying as close to logic as possible.
It wouldn't be the first time this week we've seen play like that. There was an invitational match a couple of days ago where both runners really tried to hard avoid significant sequence breaks. Until finally they just kind of said, you know what, this is terrible, we're going off the rails now, off near the end of the seed. But they spent the first 40 minutes at least just really staying as close to logic as possible, and it was kind of strange to see.
So, Spy did find those Titan Smiths over in the, I believe that is the map chest of Eastern Palace.
That is the map chest of Eastern Palace. Things you learn when you've played enough Pilot Spoiler. You certainly don't learn it playing NMG, because you don't open that chest in NMG. All you do is you learn not to go there.
So it looks like Spy's gonna logic break this big key chest.
And Sonny's going to follow right along behind, so within a couple of minutes, both runners going to have those mitts, going to have that Dark World access. And, well, I would say then we'll see what they do, but the next obvious play is really just go to the portal at the village and start doing Dark World things over in Skullwoods and Village of Outcasts.
And just the map. And the big key chest.
We saw the map in the map chest. Because this is not a map shuffle mode.
No.
And I was looking at Sonny. So I didn't see what Spy pulled there.
It was a map. Let's see, what was here again? Titan
Oh,
Smiths.
no, it was the mitts in the map chest, right. You know, those things that are clearly not a map and allow you to do things that you couldn't do before. Got it.
Map. So it looks like Spy is gonna clear out these South Shore checks before jumping into Dark World. We'll see if he goes all the way to Zora.
Yeah, I can certainly understand wanting to go ahead and clear out these Spear 1 locations before you make the play into Dark World. Maybe you find a fire rod. And again, one of the things about this mode is you kind of want to get into Dark World early and get an idea of what the lay of the land is, what the pendant crystal layout looks like, because then you can start trying to formulate a plan. Okay, depending on what big keys this game gives me, what am I going to do?
So, let me see if I can remember. Ice Palace, we don't need a big key. Swamp Palace, we don't need a big key. Hera, we don't need a big key. Everything
And
else
Skullwoods.
we do. Skullwoods, correct. Yep, I missed one.
And we already have one pendant at Desert, we've got the green pendant at Ice, and we've got a 5/6 crystal at Hera. We've already got the big key to Hera. Which is one of the reasons why I was saying I'm kind of surprised that no mountain sequence breakage occurred, but yeah, here we are. Spy, you don't have to be that close to the pit. The trick is easier than you think it is.
Where's Sani going? I thought he cleared this out already.
Had Sonny maybe not picked up Dark Cross?
No, he didn't pick up Dark Cross. That was the only thing, but breaking logic here, I guess. So they'll be about on even footing.
Yeah, this seems a little expensive time-wise, but I guess if you want to get it checked off before you start making other plays, it's not terrible.
I think we just had bombs over there on Hobo. Yep, 10 pack of bombs.
It's practically the Bombos medallion, except it's not.
Alright. So let's see if our Zora checks.
We almost didn't see anything. Spy just about got himself sniped by a Zora there. But I think Sonny's going ahead and heading for the Dark World here.
Oh yeah. I would think Spy, after doing these checks, will be right behind him, but might be an advantage gained here. At least not yet.
Yeah, Spy's a little out of logic and not getting much for it.
As chat points out, skipping King's Tomb too.
It's probably fine. You can save and quit to Sank again some other time. That would have been the time, but now that it wasn't the time, you can make that choice some other time.
Ooh,
there's another one of those non-required big keys.
The Zora area is not paying off for Spy.
Yeah, again, the seed with that, hey, stay in logic forehead.
Speaking of staying in logic, Spy will do the King's Tomb check. Well,
I was beginning to wonder, it felt like the seed wanted our runners to get up the mountain, and we needed that or the flute to make it happen, and I don't know, with that, Kelvin, how do you feel about mountain here? But Sonny's play makes a lot of sense. Mountain's out of logic without that lamp.
I like the mountain here. If you can find the mirror or the hammer, you can clear Hera and get one of your 5/6s right away. And we're so close to that Turtle Rock package. Maybe you can clear that out too. Oh, was that a death warp by Shawnee there?
That was a death warp attempt, but the fairy is attempting to prevent it.
Whoops.
That is one of the trickiest things in the game, because you forget sometimes what's in the bottle, and then you go through all the trouble of getting hit 7 times on blue mail to go ahead and go back to the front of the dungeon. The fairy says, no, you're fine. No, fairy, I'm not fine. I really wanted to not be here right now.
So I will say that, I do like the mountain play. However, it is a little bit of a gamble. What was that in C-shaped house? Was that
It's
the
a
hammer?
lot more of a gamble now that sawneyrath has pulled the hammer out of C-shaped house.
Ooh.
We're going to get all of these non-required big keys off the board early. That is the Swamp Palace big key for Spy from the old man.
And the single arrow of destiny over on Shawnee's side. Ooh, a book.
Yeah, mirror-locked book. I have to wonder if that mirror is gonna come up somewhere here on the mountain, because Spy has a lot of access. We've got Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, Super Bunny Cave, and Hookshot Cave. He can clear it all. That is a solid 14 items worth of chances for that mirror to show up.
Yeah, I think mirror has to pop up here, or else Spy is going to be on the back foot for the beginning, in my opinion.
Sawney pulling Sword 3 off of Digging Game here. That's a nice find. That makes life a whole lot easier.
Oh! Well, Spy just pulled his third sword and red mail out of the bottom of Paradox.
Okay, so our runners are very safe now.
Top Paradox not yielding much.
If only it was Pilot Spoiler, you could have avoided that entirely.
See what Johnny Two Bombs has for us today.
50 rupee reverse cover charge, $5, 3 bombs, $20, and $20. Yeah, that's not so good, Johnny. Try again next seed.
Damn. Definitely a negative 1 out of 10 for Hype Cave today.
Very expensive in terms of time.
So with that mirror, or with that lamp that Shawnee doesn't have, could have cleared out a pod here, I think.
And it's entirely possible that sawneyrath decides, well, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and sequence break that anyway. I've got the big key, I've got the hammer, I've got the bow. It's not too bad, right? You've got 3 swords and blue mail, so it's not as though the dark is all that terrifying, but no, gonna turn north and head for catfish, it looks like.
Wonder why Shawnee went up an extra layer on the pyramid, probably checking to see if it was fast scanning.
That's just one of those things, every once in a while you just look at that staircase while you're going up and you go, you know, I feel like I'm supposed to climb this some more, and you do, and then you remember, oh yeah, I can't check this item from here. Super Bunny Cave, Piece of Heart, $50. You know how a couple of minutes ago I was saying it felt like the seed really wanted our runners to be up here on the mountain? Well, this mountain trip is not working at all right now. This has been really unfortunately empty.
A fire rod on catfish.
Ooh, that is a nasty location for a fire rod.
All right, red Skullwoods, crystal is Skullwoods. Red, I believe there was a pendant on Swamp, and I did not see the rest.
Well, the rest would have to be regular crystals, because we knew that Ice Palace was green from talking to Saha. Oh, hey, there we go. We've got a big key to Thieves Town. This trip is not completely empty for Spy, just mostly empty.
Half magic.
Nice safety, but you're really hoping to pull a little more than one item from the entirety of the mountain trip. So, between the runners, we now know that Sawney has access to Pyramid Ferry already, with the fire rod for Skull Woods, and has the hammer and everything else to get to Hera. Now, the problem with that, from Sawney's point of view, is the lack of the logical mountain access. Logical mountain access is just kind of hanging out in King's Tomb. I'm sure he'll get there eventually.
You know, just finish pod, save and quit, go pick it up. It's fine, right? That's what he's gonna do, right?
There's not really going to be anything else to do over here unless you get a mirror and an Eastern Palace big key.
Ooh.
So yeah, I would expect the save and quit here, more likely than not.
Out of the middle chest in Skull Woods, get 300 bucks. And Spy is not very happy about that, given a little bit of rage slashes there.
Yeah, as you had surmised, it seems like the ordering for Spy has kind of back-footed him here a little bit.
I'm gonna steal the key from the middle of Skull Woods to use it in the front, just in case the first chest doesn't have a key. Very heads-up play. So, since we think that Spy is on the back foot for at the moment, what do you think he needs to do to kind of catch himself back up and put him back into this race?
At this point, I think his big sticking point is going to be that fire rod on Catfish. I'm not sure what's going to get him over there. The hammer is going to be right in his way. And I feel like, especially since he's already got the lamp, that once he starts on his Dark World sweep, that's just going to end Pod. And then I'm not sure that he's going to have to find a way to make Catfish a palatable option.
And nothing really came out of Skull Woods, I don't think. Saw 300 rupees and some bombs. And speaking of bombs, more bombs on Bumper Ledge. So that is dead too.
Yeah, at least you know you're not looking for a cape. That's not terrible. Alright, Sawney is done in the front of Pod now. Anything else that's in here is just keys, but the back still has some options. Spy picking up that hammer. Oh, and he did get that Thieves Town big. That was the one thing that he pulled, so he is going to be able to use that hammer and clear thieves here if he wants to.
You know, that could be something that pulls him back into this race, is that the back of Thieves Town has something worthwhile.
Something like a mirror in the back of Thieves here, I think, would be kind of Spy's saving grace, because it would allow him to chain everything up just a bit more efficiently. It's still not going to make Catfish better, though, and I'm just not sure what does.
Didn't Spy already do Zora area as well?
All of the Zora area. All right. Oh, and there is the Eastern Palace big key in the back of Pod for Sawney.
Oh boy. So now all we have to do is find the mirror to make your prophecy come true, right? That he said like 3 minutes ago? Yeah. So yeah, like, Spy even if he gets the mirror, that wouldn't even entice him to go up to Catfish because he already did all the Zora checks. Catfish might be orphaned here by Spy.
And this is the unfortunate part of failing Hammer Yump. When you've come in from the north here, you have to go all the way back down into the dark basement to reset the bridge. But Spy, unsurprisingly, with that Thieves' Town big in hand and the hammer, going to go ahead and go to the back. That looks like a good lineup. There you go. Red orang. That's not so great.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the blue one.
I'm a fan of the iron one attached to a red block on the other end. That's the best boomerang in my book. But
all right, let's see what Dark Maze got for us.
oh, pulling more big keys. All right, big key to Desert Palace. Now, our runners are locked out of that at the moment because Spy has seen the book Mirror locked up on top of Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, so if we get the mirror flute, or go get that book, and flippers, we could, do the pendant dungeons do the pendant route instead of doing 5 crystals. Did I get those items right? I think that's all we need.
I think you've got your items right. I was watching Sony try to navigate the dark maze there, and he does get it. Now, I think he actually had found the door, but he wasn't facing right with his sword out. He was facing up or down, and so the door wasn't unlocking. Now he's just going to Death Warp.
Did he kill all the dinos?
Yeah, he may have accidentally done. It can be difficult to find them in the dark sometimes.
So $20 out of blind sell as I watch the restream because I have not been paying attention to Spy at all.
Blind down for Spy. Let's see. We can at least pay attention to this one. Yeah, that items must have come out of the back of that because that was a compass.
Did he go to the big chest? I don't remember. He still has the key.
Maybe he found all of the items and knew that that was the map and that compass was on the boss.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's what our tracker is saying. So I'll buy that. While Spy digs for his butter sword here, we'll see Sonny go and fight some dark turtles. Oh, all right, that's a strat to get that torch. Worked out pretty well.
So where do you think Sonny's next move is?
I would have thought Mountain, but now that we've seen that Eastern Palace Big Key come out, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a save and quit and a run over to Eastern to pick up another Crystal Dungeon.
Okay. Hey, bee in a bottle. Now we can do sick kid. I don't think we've seen that yet.
We did. That's where the first love came from. There
Oh.
was a bottle. The bottle fairy came from the village somewhere. The well, maybe?
That's right. That's right.
That's been a lot of minutes. I've forgotten, but I'm pretty sure it was there somewhere. Spy going to get all of his disappointment out of Pipe Cave. Oh, and that looks like a Sank start. King's Tomb, perhaps? King's Tomb up the mountain? No.
No. Shawnee continuing to say, he doesn't know the lamp is there, but continuing to say, I don't need it.
Yeah, I guess this has to be Skull Woods then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have an idea. Let's leave.
So I wonder, Spy here, this is his opportunity to go up to Catfish and...
Nope. No, I didn't foresee any world in which he was turning north there.
How much does Spy realistically have left? Because I don't think there was much in Pod. Except for the Eastern Big.
Well, now that he has the hammer, he's got the ability to go back up onto the mountain and do Hera, and he knows that he can get into Turtle Rock. But I don't know how much he likes that versus just biting the bullet on a Catfish play, but yeah, I don't know that he has a whole lot left after this Pod play. He'll then have the couple of checks that are left over in Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Which he can kind of do at his leisure at this point.
Oh, man. So if you're rooting for Spy, you're kind of hoping that he goes to Catfish on a whim here, I guess.
And does the thing that everybody wants everyone to not do and runs back out from Pod.
Oh, are we gonna get King's Tomb from Shawnee? Yeah, Lamp. We love Lamp.
Lamp is a good safety item. People underestimate the lamp. Also, these have been some really good hook speeds off the stairs. Sonny's been doing that really consistently. I wish I could be that consistent with that trick.
Ooh, so chat is saying that Shawnee is in go mode. Let's see here.
If he would do a map check, he could have that information.
I have an idea. Let's leave.
Is that why also our tracker has not done any question marks or clicked any of those question marks?
He's not marking any of those because Sonny doesn't know.
Whoa.
Sonny just doesn't know. It took a long time for me to decide that map checking was a thing that existed in this mode. For whatever reason, I really felt like this was just going to be a keys mode and that I wasn't going to get any information from a map check, but you get information from map checks in this mode, and it can be pretty important sometimes. Meanwhile, Spy's just been casually jaunting on through Palace of Darkness.
I don't think he hasn't done the back yet, has he?
I think he may have just rushed boss after clearing out the front, which is fine. If you're expecting to save and quit out anyway, this actually works really well when you have no mirror. And pod on the board for Spy, 2 dungeons in.
Alright, what does Spy do from here?
Goes back in for the back.
Oh, because he's going to probably save and quit. And then miss out on that fire rod entirely. Wow, what a full magic drop.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient with a Gibdozer in the magic pack. Sawney's going to drop in on the Moth here. Let's see how much the Moth cooperates today.
I would say he cooperated quite reasonably.
Yeah, well enough anyway.
That's crystal number 2 for Shawnee.
Let's see if Spy has better luck with this hammer up. Looks like he's in the right spot. Alright, Sonny, what other options do you have here now?
See, he did the front of Thieves Town, but can't do the back at the moment. Maybe checking. He's gonna check the bumper ledge here just to have a peace of mind. Or did he do that already? I don't remember.
I don't know that he did that or not, but I guess this is a mirrorless Smith pickup.
Hmm.
I don't think he has a lot of other options.
I guess this is Shawnee's plan is avoid mountain at all costs.
Yeah, mountain trips can be kind of time expensive. If you can avoid them, it's not a terrible idea to do so.
Now chat is telling Shawnee to hit the map button on his controller. I can't. Wow.
And Spy's going to head for Eastern Palace. Again, it's another one of those crystal dungeons that he's able to clear. He's going and doing the things that he can do. It's just that fire rod is really out of sight, and Catfish is kind of out of mind now.
Let me think.
The real danger here is if he pulls something like Flipper's Mirror in his 2 checks here. Mirror in particular is just dangerous to Spy right now, I feel.
I think he at least has 1 check left, maybe 2. Trying to we got mitts. Got a compass.
I think we saw
and the map.
both compass and map. Yeah,
Yep,
I think there are 2 items here.
Yep.
It's always nice when the tracker agrees with me, because so often that's not the case. And in the cases where we disagree, the tracker is almost always right. It is very rare that that goes the other way. There's a reason why I didn't start playing this game competitively until auto-tracking was legalized. It's because I just can't do that.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it too much myself until there was an auto tracker. I'm like, my small brain can't handle remembering all this stuff. But we are gonna get that, you know, wonderful purple chest check here.
Yeah, just cash money.
Here comes Armos Knights. Blink and you'll miss this fight.
Spy with a solid quick kill setup there. Hammers it right down. Gets a small stick refund for the time and trouble. And this has to be the mountain from Sawney. I don't think he has anything else left. Well, that, again, I guess the play into Eastern does exist, and he's choosing not to do that for whatever reason.
I think Spy here is going to go up to Tower of Hera.
It's entirely reasonable from his point of view. He gets the... He does have the big key, so he can get all 3 items out of Hera. He's got the lamp for a fire source, so even if it's in the basement, he can get it. And then he's got Hammer, Ether, Samaria, so he can get into Turtle Rock and do as much Turtle Rock as Turtle Rock will let him do. Maybe also winds up in a situation where he does something like Spike Cave.
What do you think? Is there anything that Spy can do to like bring him back into this race? Because you're missing that fire rod on Catfish.
At this point, I think the answer to that simply is, as sad as it is to say, he needs to last locate that faster than Sawney does a map check and realizes he's in go mode.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not trying to be mean to Spy, he's a friend of mine, but I think that's his out, is that Sawney just does not do the map check and does not realize he's in go mode.
Sawney gets his butter sword and red mail out of Paradox Cave. And his, I think there were bombs and heart pieces here. A little bit of money.
And Spy is just having no luck with his bread bowl there. So he's gonna go do the dungeon the old-fashioned way. And Sawney is going to go ahead and follow Spy right on into Tower of Hera here. This does seem like something of the strategy of, I'm just going to go to the dungeons that the game gives me access to, and then I'm going to clear them. Which is... It really is going to work out, and sometimes you think, well, maybe it shouldn't, but... In this case, it really seems like it's going to, because the game has just kind of funneled the runners into exactly what they can do to get the 2 Triforce pieces they need to beat the Seed.
That is crystal number 4 for Spy. I'm assuming since we never found the small key, it is locked. Well, no.
No, he spent it while he was trying to Herapod.
Correct. so he's going back in. Item counting. There's got to be something down here.
Yeah, and now as I look at it, the real danger for Spy is that he gains access to Mire somehow. Which, maybe that flute's just in GT and he's locked out of that forever, but if he goes into Turtle Rock here and pulls a flute out of the beginning, that can become really, really ugly really quickly. Oh, take the switch, got it. I was wondering why Sonny was going back into the basement here. Alright, so Spy choosing after Hera not to go for Turtle Rock. This is actually going to work out for him. Now, he may be doing Mirrorless Smiths here instead of going to Catfish. That's entirely possible. In fact, I would say it's likely. But at least he's now on the right half of the world again.
I think we're going to get a magic back check first. So
Shield.
I think Spy's like this is probably his last best try to do something like this, but pick up the Smith, take him on a world tour through an area you already went through, and go all the way to Catfish. But I don't see that happening, but if that's going to be on your mind.
Pick up the Smith, arm a Skullwood's Water Walk, and just Water Walk or Splash Delete over there and go to Catfish really quick. And that really is about his best option here. If he doesn't do it now, he's kind of put himself in a position where he has to choose to do it as a complete one-off. And Spy's probably happy to see that Bombos medallion thinks, you know, I can go into Pendant Ice now and do Pendant Ice things. Maybe this gets me into Mire if I find the flute. Probably doesn't hate seeing that, but little does he know right at the moment that is one of the more dangerous things he could have found.
And we see the save and quit. And Shawnee has yet to do a map check still.
It's just an open mode. Why map check ever, right? It seems to be working out for him. I'll say that much.
Well, he does have the big key to Turtle Rock, the Fire Rod, the Ice Rod, Cane Samaria, the lamp. He does have everything to do this.
Alright, Spy's going to go get his Dark World access back again. I have to assume this is just for Purple Chest, but we'll see. Since they're both now terrible one-offs.
Purple Chest to Catfish? Question mark?
Oh, when he turned north there, I thought maybe, just maybe, this was going to be the thing, but no, he just wanted to go around the tree.
No.
And I really expect after this he's going to make the Ice Palace play. Oh, but Sawney doesn't want Turtle Rock here. Interesting. No, it's not a 3 crystal GT. It's not that easy.
I was thinking, would that have been a random spike cave check?
That's what I was wondering if it was, and no. I think that may have been a mild forgetfulness of the mode definition. Oh, the casual 56-minute Sphere 1 location check from Spy. Alright, this is a choice. I had forgotten that he had not done this.
I'm trying to think of... Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Turtle Rock, small key, or big key. Yeah, this has to be Ice Palace play, right? Unless he wants to stay in Logic.
Oh, he got the TR big. I think he may be making the TR play.
Oh,
It's
no.
gonna lock him out really quickly, though. Because...
What was in the compass chest again?
Well, maybe it's not. Did Sonny do compass first?
I think he did.
Because if so, it wasn't a small key, because Sonny's small key counter is at 1, so yeah. Spy's going to get locked out of this immediately. He's going to check compass chest, it's going to be a non-small key, and he's going to be stuck. And then I guess he can go do Spike Cave while he's up here. Speaking of being a little stuck, Sonny getting a little stuck here in Chomps, and the Chomps are giving him the business.
Does get out of there, though. I think those chain chomps are scary no matter what level armor upgrade you have.
They do a lot of damage, still a lot of damage, and okay, that hurts, but it wasn't immediately lethal damage. They're not so easy. Yeah, Spike gets that piece of heart. Considers just the save and quit, but I think he is going to go for Spike Cave here.
What else does Spy have?
Ice Palace.
Is it Ice
Palace Catfish.
Ice Palace and Catfish. Like, what do you do in his position? Do you go to Ice Palace, which is out of Logic because we don't have the flippers yet? Or do you stick to Logic and go to Catfish?
Yeah, he's done that thing where he's kind of hewing close enough to Logic that you would have to think that he goes ahead and makes the Catfish play. Unless he gets flippers here in Spike Cave, at which point, then all things are possible.
Alright, let's see what's here in this Spike Cave. Oh.
Well, that's kind of funny, but it's not going to change what Spy has to do. Alright, Spy, what do you want? Are we getting the hammer? Please get the hammer. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the catfish play now.
Yeah, I think logically he's out of options otherwise, so... And he may in fact have done it. He may have last located this fire rod quickly enough. Sawney pulling silvers there off of the laser bridge. Give him an extra 20-second advantage on the Ganon fight. And Spy, with full map knowledge and 4 crystals already in hand, is now in go mode.
Yeah, go mode for items, keys, and knowledge.
We'll see a very quick trip to the back of Skull Woods here. He'll go up and rummage around in GT Basement for 1 Triforce piece, and then take the big orange bomb to the pyramid. Pick up his 2nd Triforce piece right before he fights the pig. Easy game. Sawney knocking down Turtle Rock here. Trinex finishes exploding. That'll put crystal number 4 on the board for him. Has the choice between Thieves and Eastern for a 5th crystal.
Wonder if he does a map check now.
That'll be a no. It would have been really interesting if Sawney had just chosen to beat Eastern before coming up here, because running past the GT entrance there then would have opened with the 5 crystals.
Yeah, true that. You know, I think the interview here is going to be very interesting. I have so many questions. All right, so, do we want to play a guessing game with chat to see where the Triforce piece is? Because I'm pretty sure that's where Spy's going.
If he doesn't go to GT here, he is objectively wrong. I'll just go ahead and throw that one out here right now.
Right. How many checks are there in GT? 22 still?
21, because the GT Big Key is inaccessible, and therefore the GT Big Chest is inaccessible.
All right, let's go ahead and start the Triforce piece guessing game. Put in chat what number you think it'll pop up in. 1 through 21. Everybody's favorite game.
I'll take a 6. I think it'll be relatively early.
I'm gonna guess number 8. And I'll count those 3 that punch their numbers in before I click the start button. We'll count those 2.
They were just really ready to play.
Yes.
Okay, we've been seeing a lot of the front of GT, but finally here at an hour and 5 minutes, it is finally going to open. Spy going to be the first of our 2 runners to enter Ganon's Tower. Wondered for a second why Sawney was setting up there, and then I remembered, oh yes, silvers, so these Armos Knights are just going to melt.
Alright, we are in GT now. Let's see here. We're going to go for the Hope Room. Small key number 1. And some bombs number 2. And we're going to go right side. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shawnee has 5 crystals. Does he know that he got both reds?
He can know that anytime he opens his inventory, and there's the full coin collection, so you dig up the Quake medallion. It doesn't change anything.
3 piece of heart, 4 bombs, 5 map, and 6 red rupee.
And Spy, being the memer that he is just gonna go full right here. This is not even the true DM route. This is just a full right play from Hope Room.
So check number 7 will be Bob's chest today.
That is a very interesting check number 7. It's just 20 bucks though.
I mean,
I got a little too far left for the quick kill there.
Alright, this is my check. Number 8. 9. 10. Not here. I am so curious. I don't think Shawnee knows the rules of this game type.
Yeah, it really does feel like he's missing a piece of the mode definition here, unfortunately.
So that was check 11 on the torch. And number 12 is a small key. 13's a bottle. 14, 15. Check number 16, the fire bar room. There it is.
Alright, put that Triforce piece in your back pocket. And now you just have to go take that orange bomb to the pyramid and then go fight a pig. This really is pig roasting equipment. You've already got the butter sword, you've got the red mail, 13 hearts. That looks like Spy may be taking a trip to buy some potions here. The magic meter is a little low, I suppose.
Yeah, you got a lot of money. You're chilling.
Yeah, when you have 4 digits worth of rupees, you can pretty much do what you want. And we are getting that confirmation well after the fact that Spy did count his items correctly in Thieves Town, and it was a map in the big chest.
Let's see if Spy remembers which chest the Triforce piece is in. He'd probably open both, just why not? Hope for silvers here too?
Yeah, given that you don't have silvers, and that second chest, the right chest in Pyramid Fairy, has just tended to have the goods this week. Now, I've seen some vanilla silvers in there, I've seen some vanilla butter swords in there. It's been a week. I wouldn't blame him at all for opening it. Now, the comedy option would be flippers.
Ooh.
It's clearly not going to deter him from going and roasting the pig any longer, but it would be a really good comedy option.
Aw.
Not even a refill attached. Unfortunate.
Having E and using the cape for more safety.
Sonny also going to grab the big bomb here, so is at least cognizant of having the 5-6 crystals. Spy says, "No, Ganon, I was never going there." At least not any further than I already went.
Nice triple there.
He's getting difficult hits and missing easy ones. This is interesting to watch for me. Okay, that time he missed a difficult one. But then he gets that one. Spy, please. You make so much of this look easy. And then you miss some that you should just not miss. I don't understand. But anyway, get your GGs in chat for Spy, who is, in fact, going to take this game for Majora's Mask Marauders and move them up to 21 points on the season.
And that'll be a 1:14:15 for Spy.
Yeah, see, like I said, about an hour and 15 minutes. Pretty close, too. Spy must have been listening.
Ooh.
Ooh, ah.
All right, so we got both runners in the waiting room. They're going to make their way down here into the booth. GG's, guys.
Thank you.
Jeez.
GG's indeed.
That was a bit of a seed. First and foremost, thank you both for putting on a great show on a Saturday night.
I was just having way too much fun with the seed. I'm going to be completely honest. This seed was a lot of fun. And, you know, early on, I thought I had done a map check. And in my head, I was like, yeah, you did a map check, but you didn't mark anything down. And you're just going to keep going. And I was like, and then when I realized I hadn't done a map check after I forfeit, I was like, well, that's the first time I haven't done a map check since like 2017.
And it almost really worked out for you, because if you had just done Eastern before you had gone up the mountain for Turtle Rock, when you had walked by GT there, it would have just opened up for you.
Ah, yep. That is fair.
Yeah, it's funny how this race had came down to a map check practically.
I mean, as the saying goes, you win some, you lose some.
And in this mode, more than most, there were a lot of outcomes that you probably wouldn't have expected if this had been a different week. But Champions Ganon Hunt has proved to be a really volatile mode. You can both tell me if you enjoyed racing it. I feel like people racing it don't seem to enjoy racing it all that much, but it is a lot of fun to commentate. It's a lot of fun for the viewers.
We're just not going to talk about how bad and stressed I felt when I found that fire rod, especially because it's like, oh crap, I could have been done like 20 minutes ago. Yay.
Yeah, and you were really racing against time, because the seed was laid out in such a way that Sawney, map checks or not, you could only really do the dungeons that the game wanted you to do that got you into GT. Now, you got a choice between Eastern and Thieves and TR, pick two, but other than that, you were completely locked out of Desert, you were logically locked out of Ice, you could have gone there, but no, and nobody ever found the flute, so you weren't going to Mire, so yeah, you were just kind of, there were things that you were just not going to do, and Sawney just kept hitting dungeons that he could do, and you were in a race against him getting 5 dungeons done and going up to GT before you found that fire rod, and eventually it worked out for you. But yeah, it was pretty spicy there for a while.
Yeah, I just went back and checked. It was about 36 minutes, I believe, where I decided to take the 6 in pod over the 1 in Catfish, and I can't remember where the Eastern Big Key was offhand, but then that would have been the outlier. But yeah,
it was in pod.
It was inside a pod. I mean, the one thing that I had forgotten with Champions Ganon Hunt is that it's 5 crystals to enter GT. And that was the big piece of information that I had forgotten. If I had remembered that, you know, the outcome could have been completely different. But either way, I'm still happy because I had a ton of fun.
Once you finished TR, yeah, as soon as you'd gone and done Eastern, you would have been second into GT at that point, but it still would have been a race, absolutely.
For sure. I mean, I can't be upset at all. Even though, you know, I imagine chat was probably yelling at me to do a map check instead of just jumping into dungeons. But, you know, live and learn, right?
Yeah, they were saying, "Hey, press the X button." Like,
for all of you in chat, I appreciate it. But yeah, this mode with as volatile as it is, I'm not going to say I disliked it, because I really did like it. It's interesting to race, and all in all, I had a bunch of fun practicing for this week, and I've had a bunch of fun throughout this league so far.
Half the battle having fun. I mean, I felt like my butt was up against the hot iron this whole entire time, but Jesus, that was still fun. And No, true to good old Spyweaver tactics. I almost went and dove into freaking IP without even the flippers. I'm like, hold on a second, you got one other place. It's either your flippers or fire. I'd go check it. Stupid.
Yeah, when we got down to the end and you were checking Pyramid Fair, I said, at this point, the comedy option would be the flippers are in the other check, in the other chest there. Because it's not going to change anything for Spy at this point, but that would have been a thing.
I cringed when I picked up that Bombos. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh, that Bombos. I went, oh, this could either be really good or really, really bad.
Yeah, if Amir would have been along the way, then I'd be like, okay, we're pivoting, let's go.
That's fair.
Yeah, so next week, Cross Keys week. Now that you guys have put week 5 and the Champion Scan and Hunt in the books, Spy, who do you guys have and who are you putting up?
I know it's going to be myself and I believe Duke against we're racing Harris Basement Dwellers.
All right, that'll be good. And Sonny, I know who you have. You and I have already scheduled our sitting out this week because Rinoco and Norse Matty are going to play one game, and Navia Garrison and Kamir are going to play the other one.
Yes, and I do enjoy cross keys, but my problem as of late is scheduling. Because I started a new job last month that has me working early morning shifts, at least early by my standards. And so I'm usually in bed and asleep by 9:30 or 10 Central. So with that said, Kamir, Renoko, and I were talking about it in our group chat, and we were like, yeah, I think this is your guys' week, because I'm going to need to sit out for this one.
You know what? I just realized we're all in the same division. That's crazy.
Yeah, no.
We are.
Signed up for this for that reason. That's what I thought that sign up was.
I mean, we could potentially have a 3-way top here up at the top if, MindDM's teammate decides to go lose, and,
And then depending upon how next week or the week after plays out, how those go.
Well, I have Spy's team in week 7.
Yep.
Spy still gets a say in this.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
We got to say. We got to say yet.
Oh, man.
And let me go ahead and shout out Risky and Terrible Gambits. I will be the first one to admit that going into this season, I looked at that team and I said, all right, I'm not really worried about them, and ever since, all they've kept doing is winning games that I didn't think they were going to. Those guys can game. They're gamers.
Risky and Terrible Gambits are scary. They are so good.
Just let Garrison out there know that I'm coming for him the last week.
Yep, got to get that Inmiser game in, huh?
Oh yeah, run around with your boots face first into an enemy and die for the first half an hour.
Go through the screen transition on the way to Catfish from, where you would hookshot across it. You go up there and all of a sudden that's a roller and you take 3 hearts worth of damage and just die and there's nothing you can do about it. That's Inmiser.
Yep, smile and laugh like, all right, let's not do that again.
Okay, Inmiser, I understand. I'm just not going there right now. That's fine.
What's worse is when it's under a bush and that happens. You're like, okay, please.
Yep. It's not even hidden. It's a 50-50 chance. Thanks, game. That's a good one. Classic. All right, but anything else that either of our 2 competitors here want to say before we start wrapping this thing up?
I got nothing other than GG's. That was freaking fun as heck. Like I said, I felt like my butt was against the hot iron the entire time, but I mean, that's what you got with this kind of volatile mode. Thanks to all of you for putting it on. I mean, had a blast.
Yeah, I want to echo what Spy just said. Spy, GG's to you. That was one heck of a race. I had way too much fun in this seed, but man, the fun was worth it. Thank you guys for throwing the restream together for this as well, because that was amazing, and I was not expecting a restream for this.
Well, I just kind of signed up on a lark. I thought, maybe if I sign up, some other people will sign up, and then somebody will decide to pick it up. And sure enough, Matt Ewok Herd signed up for tracking, and Mr. Angry Pants said, "Oh, hey, there's a commentator and a tracker signed up. Maybe people want to see this game. I'll sign up to restream." And then Calvin said, "Oh, well, we've got sign-ups. I'll go ahead and sign up." And then he thought that he was going to learn a new speed run, and we had to drag him into the booth about 2 minutes before the game started.
Yeah,
That's all fine,
nice
right?
fun fact. That is a fun fact.
But yeah, Kelvin, I enjoyed it. It was an interesting game to watch. I hope everybody out there in chat land enjoyed us bringing it to you. Go ahead and give Sawney and Spy follows. A couple of good runners who put on an entertaining show for you on a Saturday night here, maybe an early Sunday morning, depending on where you happen to be at in the world. Go ahead and follow Calvin. He doesn't just run this game, as I can say for sure, having seen him starting to learn another speed run right before this. Clearly doing the streaming thing. Matt Ewok Herd, thank you so much for doing the tracking for us. Mr. Angry Pants, thank you for doing all the back-end stuff that makes this thing happen. I'm MindDM, and Calvin, I'm going to throw the last word to you, and we can get on out of here.
It was definitely a crazy scene. It was fun to be here. Good to commentate. Thank you, everybody, for putting on this show. The runners, CoCom, Tracker, Restreamer. It was a good time. I guess you can see on the screen when the next races are going to be, and you also see the divisional stats there as well. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. Everybody have a good night, good morning, or good afternoon wherever you are.